Stay with us. We're going to unpack more of this in a very short while. Right now, though, I want to bring in Ariel Cohen, Senior Fellow at the Atlantic Council and founder of International Market Analysis, joining us now from Tel Aviv. Thank you very much for your time. You might have heard some of our conversation already. The UAE's air defenses certainly being tested, sirens sounding again earlier today, and that's a day after, of course, those 15 missiles and 4 drones were launched at the Gulf nation on Monday for the first time since the ceasefire started in early April. It seems the US feels this isn't enough to constitute a violation of the ceasefire with Iran. What kind of feasible response do you imagine could come out of the UAE?
Well, UAE has an option of using its own air force to attack Iranian targets. The question is, to what extent it will do it without coordination with the United States and with Israel. But UAE has a lot of economic levers to encourage the United States to pursue a kinetic part to this conflict. And what is important, that Mohammed bin Zayed, who is regarded as a wise Gulf ruler and leader, will articulate what is pretty obvious to some, but not to others, that this war, this conflict is not only about Iran, it's not only about the Strait of Hormuz, it's not only about oil. It is about the US leadership in the world and the competition US finds itself with China. China and the axis of upheaval, including Russia and North Korea, and of course, Iran. And I hope President Trump, Secretary Hegseth, and Secretary Rubio understand what it is about. It's not just about opening the Strait of Hormuz, as important as it is for the midterms in November. The oil prices when I left the States several days ago, oil prices went up from about $3.15 to about $4.10 in the area I live in the States. It is painful. It will have ripple effects throughout the economy, but it is not catastrophic. It may be worse in Europe because the Europeans are taxing the heck out of their fuel. But Europeans doing all kinds of other energy mistakes. I can talk about it for an hour, like killing their own nuclear sector in the energy economy. But the point is, China is supplying rocket fuel components, rocket fuel precursors to Iran. According to many reports, Russia is supplying targeting information. Both Russia and China are supplying navigational data, and Russia may be supplying drones. So there are international and global aspects of this conflict that people tend to forget about, but they are absolutely critical to the future of the United States.
And of course, we know that President Donald Trump is supposed to be meeting with Xi Jinping in Beijing some 10 days from now. It'll be interesting to see how all these factors play into their discussions. But Ariel, I'd like your take on a report out of CNN that the Israeli Iron Dome air defense system successfully intercepted an Iranian missile over the UAE on Monday. If that is true, it would mark the first operational use of the system on Emirati soil to neutralize a direct threat from Tehran. If true, it also speaks to the very tight relationship between the UAE and Israel. Your take, your assessment, your insights.
The former Sunni alliance between UAE and Saudi looks like it's shattering or shattered. There is a push by Qatar to bring Saudi Arabia into a new alliance with Turkey, possibly with Pakistan. We saw the defense agreement between Saudi and Pakistan. We also know that the rapprochement in the past between Iran and Saudi Arabia was brokered by China and supported by Qatar. So this Game of Thrones in the Gulf, in the Middle East, is ongoing, is continuing. But it is indeed without precedent, the level of coordination and cooperation and support Israel is providing to UAE, and cooperation between UAE and Israel, including in places far away from both countries, like Africa, like the Horn of Africa, like recognition of Somaliland, like opening Bab el-Mandeb, the entrance to the Red Sea. So the potential to this coordination and cooperation is huge. The combined GDP of Israel and UAE is over $1 trillion, whereas Iranian GDP is somewhere between 300 and 400 billion dollars, and the economy is deteriorating rapidly, while Israeli economy was growing even through 3 years of war. So this is a precedent of a very close relationship. And as they say in the Gulf and in Manchester in UK, inshallah, this will not be the last Arab country to get into a close alliance with Israel.
Well, on that positive note, we thank you. Ariel Cohen, live from Tel Aviv. Appreciate your insights. Thank you so much.